you once said, if today I came to the U.S. with $92 in my pocket, I would still become a millionaire in 12 months. Now, I know you. But if somebody were to just see you saying that in that beautiful Irish brogue of yours, they might go, this guy's full of it. I know you, and you wouldn't say that if you didn't believe it. So let's put it to the test. So a lot of people watching don't know you. This is going to be on TikTok. Yeah.
For sure.
Right. But hey, to the cynic, they don't believe that the American dream is still alive. But let's be tactical. Pay off that statement. You came in today, $92 in 2025. What would you do and how would you do it in 12 months?
Find a need and fill a need. I think, first of all, when I talk about being a millionaire is a state of mind, not a state of account. So if I were broke, I'd be so out of my comfort zone that I'm getting right back in. It's my mindset. Second is, I did it before, I can do it again. So find a need, fill a need. The wild thing about today is the speed of the market, the speed of the marketing, and the availability of capital. Shocking. The size of the market today. I came to America in 1986. Look up video from 1986. There was some homely stuff. Ireland was a third world country. So when I came to America, I was like, wow. But there's still some homely stuff running around the place. You look at the size of the market today, how big the market is, how giant it is. Niches, for example, in this market are enormous. And so you find the niche, find the need, fill the need. So I would spend some time looking around at what people struggle with. What is something that's difficult that could be made easier? What is something that could make somebody's life more comfortable? Something that could be done quicker, something that could be done better, something where there's a gap in the market. These giant corporations, I'm telling you, I have a good-sized company myself. There's gaps. And the bigger the company, the greater the gap, okay? I told the story several times at lunch today, but it was like IBM held the rights to Microsoft, MS-DOS, and they let them walk because the CEO was like, who's ever going to have a personal computer on their desk? Go for it. Mr. Gates, you go for it. 10 years later, IBM was filing bankruptcy. They didn't. And Microsoft is the biggest company in the world. So find a need, fill a need. The next thing is find people who are in that space who are doing it well. Copy them. And then all I did, for example, I didn't invent anything with Buffini Coaching. Everything I did existed in some form or another. I improved on it and put a package together. So, for example, here I am. I'm a successful realtor. I know that I have a system. There's coaching programs out there. All right, what does this guy do? Well, this guy, he has a coaching program, but they're realtors for realtors. I'm thinking, hang on. So they're a real estate agent showing homes and doing this and doing that, and then they're going to coach somebody on the side? Okay, like the idea of coaching. I want someone who's full-time. And they're going to be in my building, learning how to do what I teach them how to do. And we're great. So we're going to do coaching. All right, these guys, they do events. There's 3-day events. I don't like that. It's too long away from people's business. I'm going to do a 2-day event. Oh, there's a free half-day seminars, how they sell their wares. It's 4 hours, and they sell you for 4 hours. I go, I hate that. I like the format, but I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it in 2 hours and 15 minutes. And for 2 hours and 9 minutes, I'm going to make people laugh, learn. I'm going to give them everything I have. And then I'm going to say, hey, if you want to come and find out what I got, I come into town in 30 days. So when I started my coaching business, the typical sales in a seminar was 8% of an audience. For 17 years on the road, I averaged 42%. Providing more value, giving them better information, and having them have a good time. And they'd go, man, I'd have paid money for this. So I found a need. So those things already existed. I did it better. I did it quicker. I did it more efficiently. Then we produced a better product. And then within a few years, now you're the brand. But that's find a need, fill a need. Find people who are doing it, put your own spin on it, and then do this.
Yeah.
Voraciously execute.
Love that.
Voraciously execute.
Yeah, I love that. That's a big part of it. I was thinking while you were saying that, compete. You just competed. I think sometimes we forget that winning in your work is a competition. It's almost like a lot of people are competition averse in today's world.
Yeah.
But man, I don't care whether you are competing or not, everybody else is. And there's a scoreboard. And I think you were really aware of that.
Well, you're onto something there. But see, there's an undertone there that's never talked. Nobody talks about losing, and nobody will use the word loser.
Yeah.
It's a very derogatory term in our culture today.
Oh, yeah.
But are there people who are winning and there are people who are losing?
Yeah.
Are there people who've ever gone to the Pine Box? That guy was a loser. Lou Holtz would say he has to hire people to carry his coffin.
Right.
We're afraid to say those things because it sounds so judgmental and so condemning.
Right.
The bottom line is there's people who are losing and there's people who are winning. So here's what I'm going to say. In the next 12 months, I don't give a frosty rip what the market is or what the tariffs are or what anything's going on. It has very little to do with my focus and my attention. Here's what I'm going to go do.
Right.
And it has very little to all those other things. They're all. I was actually laughing because recently the Houthis are back in the news, right? I remember I was doing an event in Dallas, Texas, and I'm doing a meet and greet line, and this woman walks up to me. She's great. She's big-haired, looks the part, the whole thing. Typical Texas realtor, right? High heels, big hair. She walks up to me and she goes, Brian, she goes, I'm just really concerned about something right now. I said, what's that? Pirates. Pirates. They're stealing our ships. I go, well, that's good. I go, what does that got to do with you? Are you do you have a sailing fleet or something?
You selling houseboats?
Exactly. Yeah. What's up with you? I'm American and I'm offended. I said, okay, I get it. What has that got to do with your goals? What has that got to do with your family? What's it got to do with you not, by the way, not willing to do some of the basic activities to be successful? And I've thought about that many times because we all have pirates. Might be Netflix, might be our sports team, might be InstaSnap, okay? Or whatever else is going on.
Yeah.
We all have pirates, and we get things we get distracted by. You know why? Because it's easier to be distracted than pay the price to be successful.
I think that's the issue. It gives our brains and our emotions a chance to take a break.
Sure.
But the people that are winning are the ones that just never take a break. They're just chopping down trees.
Or short breaks. Like I'll watch Netflix. Yeah. I just won't watch 8 programs.
Well, you're not watching it at 2 p.m.
No.
Right? I mean, that's the idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.